the beautiful trend line around our demand zone previously. Gold is, in my opinion, a bit of a no touch at the moment. Even if you're in short, you're starting to question, well, how much more do I have in this trade? Probably 1700 is fair. I haven't seen the turnaround signs. We still see money outflows from the big players in gold, so be very careful on a market like this. Move over to US oil. Nice pickup here in oil off the base here of 95.50. Very good. Anyone that got the short into that, give yourself a pat on the back. You've gone against what most people perceived was possible. You've done well, and the market has gone to that level. Congratulations. If we go down to the 1 hour though, things have changed a little bit. So here we have a slight change of trend and a pullback to it. I'm not too sure about the oil markets. I don't really like the look of them for this week at this stage. So I'll come back to them later if we get something. It's sitting in the middle. I would say the small time frame is up, the large time frame is down. That's a bit of confusion to me. I don't really like those types of markets. Let's move over to the Tesla trade. Tesla outperforming the general market, which is good. That's what you expect. Obviously, Elon pulled out, it looks like, of Twitter. Is he going to put the money back into Tesla stock? I don't think so, guys. That's not what's going to happen. But some people are starting to say that. I doubt it. We'll find out. Let's talk about price action and resistances. 780, a big deal for the week ahead. We got a pretty nice closure here, but it wasn't significant enough to say, okay, 780 is in the book. I think people are going to keep trying to buy the dip here on Tesla for now. And obviously, I think Tesla is more of a proxy for your NASDAQ trade. If you think the NASDAQ's going up and the S&P 500, Tesla or Google might be your picks to try to get outperformance. Why Google? Because of the split. Remember, another big bit of news coming out soon is the split. Remember how Amazon traded? Bullish a few days before the split. Blech. It busts down. Retail traders are sniffing this out. A few people in our private community, links in the description down below if you're interested in joining that or just joining our public community. We're talking about buying Google last week into the split. They did pretty well. Well done to them. It was a good pick. And we've currently broken out. So maybe we move to 2461 relatively quickly. Hopefully Monday, Tuesday next week. We'll find out what happens after that. But interesting going into the split. Nice work there, guys. Now, we do have QQQ versus SPY. This is how you can figure out whether it's risk on or risk off in markets. And look at this trend line that goes back so many years. It goes back all the way to 2002 if you scroll it out like this. And what you'll notice is that we hit that recently. We spoke about it about a month ago. And everything since then is pointed towards the market picking up technology over the S&P 500, a full-on rotation. So not only are the insiders rotating, but also the bigger hedge funds and managed funds that have to be invested in the market are saying, look, at the moment, would I rather own Amazon this price or would I rather own this really overpriced potential in metal stock or something? And the answer they came up with was, well, I'd rather buy Amazon at the discount because I have to be invested in the market. That's what's happened so far, and we've seen that turnaround. So at this stage, expect the NASDAQ to potentially be stronger than the S&P, at least during this current rally that we're seeing. Speaking of the NASDAQ, we're at resistance. You can see we haven't quite filled the gap. The gap sitting here at 12,275. What a gap is it's the difference between the previous close and the open, and it leaves, some people call it an inefficiency or something in markets. Often gaps do get filled. Don't bank on it. Don't guess that it's always going to happen. It just tends to happen a little bit more often. So yeah, there is a gap there. And obviously NASDAQ is moving towards, one of the other things that we like, which is a lightning bolt. Could we be moving to a 12.8? Most people have that in their ideas here of where this market's going for the next week. It's a very valid kind of level. Let's move over to the S&P 500. The S&P 500 here, we have a gap. Where does the gap close? It closes around 4,017. On top of this, though, we also have a downward trend that's been intact now since March, April. And this is going to be interesting. Do we spike through, fill the gap, hit 4,000, then sell off? It's what a lot of people believe. I think that the interesting areas, if you're a bear in the markets, bad things are probably going to happen if you get underneath here, the 3740 defended zone we've been talking so much about on the channel. If you are feeling bearish, obviously these peaks will be an interesting point. And the other one, which would be consistent with the NASDAQ, would be here, the 4100. Do we actually manage to get back to that level, sell off, and that begins kind of like a bad market here. There's so many possibilities from the price action that we saw on the Friday. It didn't give us too much because you can see it just actually went up a little bit off the bottom. That was correct. Obviously, well done to people in the private and also people that watched the video. A few of you messaged me about this. But the market then rallied, sold that, and you can see here as we go down through the time frames, it's making higher lows, but it's not breaking through this 39.20 at this stage. This will be a very interesting Monday. We'll come back and watch it because I don't think we can get too much other information other than at the moment, the trend is currently up, okay? The trend on the small times is currently up. We've had the double bottom here. We've currently got a 4-hour kind of change trend to the way up, but anything can happen. We'll continue to watch it. Bears might be looking for new lows here, pushing it back down. I think the big level though for bears is either the higher resistances or around that 37.40. That's going to be a big one if we end up hitting it. Futures, same thing. You can see the kind of congested zones here, 38.08, 38.65 now. And then of course the resistance here at 39.36. That'll be a big level to break through. Look at those two tops, the trend line here from the futures market, all kind of interjecting at that zone. What a big one. Let's have a look at options. Options 39.393. So much stuff to cover this week. I can't believe how many things we're talking about here. But we've got options as well, 393. That's the max pain. That's actually higher than the current market. Do we get there? Probably. Does that matter? Probably not this much. I think that these are the two important areas. We've got 400 starting to emerge as a bit of a call area where people are trying to buy into the market. I think that if we come back to this Monday, Tuesday after the closes, we might see some real shifts here in this week's big maturity. So there's a lot of puts still in this market, but there's a bit of calls coming through 400. Let's come back to the options and explain that later on in this week's video. Bitcoin, not much to say about it. Broke this level, ended up rejecting, creating a shooting star. Doji, there's orders here, and it's a little bit weak on the weekend. I don't think Bitcoin is controlling its own market right now. It seems to be following just the stock market. If the stock market, such as NASDAQ, is going up, Bitcoin is rallying. Otherwise, it's just not finding much bid. Be careful in this market at this stage, guys. It's a crypto winter almost for sure at this point. If you haven't already, come and follow us over at FX Evolution on Twitter. We're posting a lot more there. We'll have some great posts for you this week. And of course, earnings season's going to be one that I'm very, very interested in. So I'll be posting all over Twitter. Come and join us through that. And for the week ahead, the big news, core CPI, 8:30 a.m., Wednesday, July 13th. This is New York time for anyone that doesn't know. And that's going to be a big number. Then we've got PPI after that. Oof, another big one. Thursday, July 14th. And then we have core retail sales and retail sales Friday, 8:30 a.m. New York time. So all pre-market action a lot of the time here for the big news announcements. It's going to be volatile, I would expect, around those points. The algorithms will be going crazy. And then after that, we start the big earnings weeks as well. So there's so much information coming out. Stay safe out there, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, smash that like button. We're so close to 100K, and that's thanks to everyone out there in the community. And we're about to hit, I think, 10,000 members in Discord. So thanks so much, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.